one
Here
of the
we
best
go.
games probably in the last decade. Man, what a week one of football, dude.
It
This
was
whole
good.
day was just after watching college football for the past 2 weeks and watching some games that like even when they're close, it's like, you know, the teams screw up all the time to lose it or whatever, and
Mhm.
some games just aren't close. Almost every game this weekend was fun to watch throughout, and this one was the just cherry on top of the whole thing.
It
Um,
was.
the Ravens offense just looked unstoppable for pretty much the whole game. Um, and the Bills offense looked weird at the beginning where they were just throwing everything underneath, and it's not like it's like almost they were limiting what Josh Allen can do. And then when they get down by two scores
It's
and
the
Josh
Josh
Allen just
Allen
starts
show.
slinging it,
It's the
and
Josh Allen show,
you have
man.
one of the best comebacks in recent memory.
It's yeah, dude. I mean, listen, it seems like obvious analysis, but what stands out was the quarterbacks in this game. There's a lot to get to in this game. This might be our longest review of the show. I have to admit to our very few viewers, I fell asleep, man. I didn't think they could come back. I was
Oh.
devastated, dude. I about started crying when I woke up at like 4 a.m. this morning and I saw the score. I knew it had to be on the back of some great Josh Allen plays. But you know what it really started with, which is going under the radar, Dakota, is the play before halftime that got them in field goal range, dude. They got the ball back with like what, like less than 15 seconds. And that's when you know you have an elite MVP, future Hall of Fame quarterback, when you trust them before the half with 15 seconds left to go down and get points. It was incredible. The throw on the sideline, getting it in bounds with only 1 second left, and then sneaking in three, which ended up being part of the deciding
Massive.
factor in this ball game. And yeah, dude, it's just listen. This was two AFC juggernauts, man. Because I have to give a ton of credit to the Ravens as well. The ageless Derrick Henry, dude, what a story! He was phenomenal in this game. Unfortunately, as we know, Dakota had the brutal kind of game-ending fumble, if you will. But outside of that, dude, he was so good in this ball game.
Yeah, this game, so many interesting moments that kind of dictated it because it is one of those games where every play mattered so much. And yeah, I think there was 25 seconds left once they got the ball, but still, to your point, like, and it was kind of like the freaking Mahomes, Bills game in the playoffs where it
Yep.
was heartbreaking from that. But yeah, he had two beautiful throws, one to Kincaid. And yeah, this game was so fun to watch from start to end. And another, the field goal stuff and extra points.
Mm-hmm.
Missing the extra point. This is something that also is going to get overlooked is that when the Ravens scored to go up 40-25, they missed the extra point. Okay? They missed the extra point, which then led down this path of the Bills going for two to try to tie it and then not getting it, and then kicked a field goal that inevitably won them the game. But had all that happened the exact same scenario, we actually go to overtime instead.
Overtime.
That
Yep.
missed PAT ended up being detrimental from the new kicker.
Mm-hmm.
Tucker's gone, and the new kicker misses that. And yeah, but unfortunately, the blame can kind of be placed on Derrick Henry, which kind of sucks because he played
Yeah.
such a phenomenal game. But that
So
that
good.
fumble, the fumble was in a
Yeah.
crucial moment.
It
Crucial
was.
moment,
It
man.
was
To
so
give them the
crucial.
ball in immediate plus territory, and it ended up being the difference in the game. And after having 175-yard rushing at the time, it looked like he was on pace for yet another 200-yard
200.
rushing game. And then that fumble where his famous stiff arm proved costly while he was stiff arming, and it was vulnerable and got punched out.
Man, it's brutal. It was brutal for D Hen, man. Because like you have to, I think it's fair to keep asking the question: is Derrick Henry going to fall off? Because running
Yeah.
backs just do at 30 plus, man. They do, but not Derrick Henry. And I texted y'all on our Twitter chat, dude, and I said Derrick Henry he's flying up my all time rankings, man. He is truly the last great running back. Just the last good runner, or not good, great runner of the football, the last bell cow who's getting all the carries, who's expected to get, 25, 30 touches in a game. And he didn't in this game, obviously, but that is his expectation. But man, it's unfortunate, man. The fumble was so unfortunate. That stiff arm, though, listen, he had the stiff arm on the scoring play as well. His stiff arm is it has to be the best move in NFL history, dude. It is the most dominant move by a running back in NFL history, in my opinion, dude. It is vicious. It's very unfortunate. It costs them. And I got to get your opinion, dude, on these blown leads by the Ravens, man. That's kind of been the narrative out of this game. And some really stupid fans are blaming Lamar somehow, even though Lamar was phenomenal in this game. Lamar was fantastic. But dude, as a team who feels like they can run the ball at will with a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter, doesn't it feel like they should never blow leads? And they now have this kind of history of doing this. And I really don't know why.
No, it's fascinating, man. It'd be an interesting analysis for somebody to go back and look at the play call specifically when they had the lead and what happened there. Because like the drive, and it's interesting because you're talking about a game where your defense is starting to get torn apart. So you're having to mentally prepare for that. But they did an interesting play calling on the last drive when they ended up punting. And then, Chris Collinsworth was calling for them to go for it.
I agree. Man.
Because at the end of the day, the situation pretty much ends up the same, but you're probably going to get the ball back is the difference. And it's baffling to basically say, if I don't get this, I'm handing you a field goal. But the other side of that is I don't know how aggressive the Bills would have gotten there, but even if they score a touchdown, again, that's better for you in this situation than end up no time left on the clock.
Exactly. And listen, I don't know if the analytics said go, and I know the analytics, man, if it says go, because you know why? Because the analytics take into account, they have Josh Allen on the other side, and you let Josh Allen get hot in the second half, which, dude, I saw some, and I'll get into more Josh Allen praise, but some of his throws in this game, man, he's one of one. He's the best quarterback in the NFL. But dude, 4th and 2 with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, man, that's their bread and butter, Dakota. They're unstoppable in those situations. They just are. They're unstoppable in those situations. So why not keep the ball in their hands when your defense is slipping? Your defense is slipping. Josh Allen has taken the game over, and it looks like he's unstoppable, and he continued to be unstoppable on the game-winning field goal drive. So it was an interesting decision from a guy in John Harbaugh, by the way, who has been one of the most aggressive 4th down decision makers in the NFL. That's why it was confusing. It was extremely confusing to me, man.
Yeah, and it honestly, I wonder at this point too if Harbaugh and them get to this point in their mind of overthinking the situation and trying to make sure they don't blow another lead, and then everything's going to your head and you're worried, and then it happens. But it's Josh Allen is clearly in that echelon, just like Mahomes, where it's even Burrow to a degree. But if you're going to give them a chance to go win the game, they're probably going to do it, especially Allen. But the way you just witness him play, he's going to go down and win the game, man. So you might as well keep the ball in your hands where you have control, especially when Lamar was playing well, especially running wise. Lamar had some scrambles in this game that he ran 70 yards to gain 19. And the running game was working so well. It's just, I don't know how to, I don't know what the solution is for the Ravens to avoid blowing these leads. Because it's also just the perfect storm of things that happen in some of them. Missing the kick ended up being the catalyst for this one in the first place. So,
and what started it too, which was the 4th and 2 goal line play where it looked like Josh Allen was targeting the tight end, I think Kincaid, and then it gets batted up and lands in, I believe, was Keon Coleman, right? Who caught that?
Caught it.
And by the way, Keon Coleman broke out in this game too.
Fantastic game.
Really, really good. And which is that's what's been missing in this Bills offense is that elite X wide receiver, man.
Did you see him post game? Because he looked dude, he had about 12 chains on and a massive diamond. Wide receiver
Dakota.
one. Wide receiver one.
You should have told me, dude, bro. It's over. Keon Coleman's him. I mean, going back to our wide receiver one theory, dude. Like, listen, that's what I want to see. I want to see multiple chains from my wide receiver one. I want to see sunglasses in the post game press conference. That's what I want to see. And he had a wide receiver one stat line, man. Like, Keon Coleman has broken out. It helps he has Josh Allen as quarterback who can literally. And this is my Josh Allen glaze segment, if you will.
Let's do it.
Dude, the way he's able to use all of the football field, I have literally never seen. And like, I mean, I literally never see anyone else do it. I mean, you can talk about guys extending plays, whatever, and I guess it's a little bit Rodgers-esque, but even Rodgers, man, he even didn't get 6 inches from the sideline and is able to throw balls on a rope, man, and make plays downfield. It's unbelievable what he can do. He obviously the short yardage run game, he's a lead in, but it was just some of these throws on the run in this game. He's so good at not taking sacks because he's just I think he has the best feel for pressure right now in the NFL. Like it feels like he has that just third eye that's just looking at every defensive lineman where they're at all times. So he just like it doesn't really matter if his line's giving up pressure, which the line played good. I'm just saying it doesn't even matter when they do give up pressure because Josh is able to escape it, extend the play, and just maximize his time throwing the ball, man. And dude, just some of the throws, they're unguardable. They're unguardable. The windows he's able to put it in, man. He is the best quarterback in the league right now. And I don't care about the Super Bowl rings. I really just don't care about it. I don't, because he's gotten extremely unlucky in his postseason games where he balled out and something happened, the 13-second, whatever, last year with the QB sneak. Unfortunate happenings happened. Josh Allen showed up in those games, and he once again, dude, showed up in a game that's going to matter when we're talking about number one seed implications.
For sure. And, we're a little biased, but there's a long period of the NFL where Peyton Manning was just the best quarterback in the NFL. Everyone agreed on it. When Brady he still had 3 rings at the time because he had the first 3 Super Bowl rings, but Peyton was just the best quarterback. And we are entering in that area right now where it doesn't really matter that I don't care about the past as much about what you're doing right now. And Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL. I just put Lamar up there, and Lamar's still up there as well. But This game is just the essence of Josh Allen, where when the game felt like it was over. I mean, just, TMI for me, but I had popped my sleep meds ready to go to bed. And he ended up making me fight through him to watch. I watched into the game. I didn't get to go to bed yet because he ended up shocking me and coming back and winning this, and had 247 passing yards in the fourth quarter.
That's ridiculous.
Which was more passing yards than most quarterbacks had this week in general. And shouting out, Keon Coleman deserves the praise. He looked really good in this game, and him and Allen have clearly got on the same page. Josh Palmer had a couple of big plays late in the game that helped with the game-winning drive specifically. Khalil Shakir was still making plays. This offense, even though the game started slow, it's like once they were like going into fight or flight mode, that's when it started clicking, and that's where they just need to live in that constantly.
Well, Dakota, it's been the balance the last few years of them saying, okay, we don't want to put too much on Josh's plate. We want to be able to run the ball more, control the clock, and not have Josh Allen take over. But that's the Bills' X factor, man. When they need Josh Allen, they can say, okay, the script, throw it out. Josh, just go make plays. Just go be you. Be the best quarterback in the NFL. Go make elite throws. And really play backyard football at some points in the game, man, when he's running out to the sideline, extending those plays. It was incredible, dude. The performance was incredible, and it doesn't take away from the Ravens. Listen, The Ravens are still going to be one of the best teams in the NFL, but dude, we called this defense one of the best units in the NFL, and I still think that could be the case, by the way. But it just shows what Josh Allen can do when he wants to take a game over, he absolutely can. And yeah, man, it's unfortunate for Lamar that because Lamar now feels like the guy that's starting to get the short end of these sticks in these playoff games and these now in the regular season, where he got pretty unlucky. I'd say Lamar did what he was supposed to do, put up 40 points, looked really good doing it, had once again another Lamar stat line where he's like throwing like 20 pass attempts, but he has damn near 300 yards. His yards per attempt is unbelievable. Actually, I think he was the guy who ended up leading it if he wasn't second. So, but yeah, man, what a game. What a game to cap off week 1, dude. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And yeah, to give the Ravens their dues, yeah. Lamar, it's tough because again, people will overreact, blame him, do whatever they want to do, but they scored on all 4 possessions in the first half. They score on their first possession of the second half. They then have a 3 and out. They score on their next one. They score on their next one. Then they have a 3 and out. And then the fumble. And really the end of the game is the only thing that was fully out of Lamar's hands, where the fumble happens by Derrick Henry, out of his control. And then the next drive is a conservative play called one. And, you can argue he should have tried to make a play on 3rd down or whatever, but he's basically given that one opportunity, and then they don't go for it on 4th down. So it felt a little unlucky for Lamar specifically, because of the fact that Derrick Henry's fumble ended up being the game-changing moment. But overall, one other thing for the Ravens to be really excited about, Keon Coleman broke out, but man, Zay Flowers also looked phenomenal in this game.
He did, man.
7 for 143. He was catching things short, taking it to the house, was getting open deep. Him and Lamar were in sync the entire game.
They were, and it's the yards after catch for Zach Flowers, or Zay Flowers. Sorry, yeah, dude, he was really, really good. And yeah, again, making those yards after catch that are so crucial. And maybe he's broken out as well, dude. And because another offense that has been missing a wide receiver 1. So yeah, I mean, it's just, listen, dude, I put none of it on Lamar, dude. If you put up 40 points on the road against the Bills, you should win that game 10 out of 10 times. You should. And it sucks that like the end of the game is going to be blamed on D-Hen, because he was so phenomenal. He was so phenomenal, but it's just, it was a critical moment, and there's blame to go around. It's the D-Hen fumble. It's John Harbaugh not going for it on 4th and 2, and it's the missed PAT. It's like the blame to go, and the defense at some point, you should be able to get a stop. It's, I blame them less because the Josh Allen factor. It's like, it's going to be tough, in those spots, But yeah, dude, I mean, this is just a classic 2 juggernauts. Like you said, if this was the AFC Championship, it's an absolute dream scenario, man. It's heaven if this is AFC Championship come January.
Yeah, if we get a rematch of this game, oh my gosh. I mean, that's going to feed families, and I think most NFL fans would take that in a heartbeat. A few other quick shout-outs before we wrap things up here. D-Hop, he only had 2 catches, but he had a crazy one-handed catch for a touchdown. That was fantastic.
Vintage.
It was a good throw by Lamar, but it was better
D-Hop.
Vintage D-Hop still out there doing it. And, we've touched on D-Hen, but I mean, to be honest, he almost looks slick, like slimmer, than he did before. He looked more agile. Shocking how he looked, dude. He looked like, if you had told me he was in year 4, I would have believed you.
Dude, what he doesn't get enough credit for is what he does in the offseason, man. He takes care of his body. He's one of those guys that the reports like he spends so-and-so amount of money on his body. He talked about that on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast way back in the day, or not way back in the day, a couple years ago. I'm acting like that's way back in the day. But anyways, he's a guy that really takes care of himself, and part of that's that Alabama discipline, right? But the incredible part of the D-Hen story is whether he takes care of himself or not, going back to his high school days and college, he was so relied upon, man. I mean, just ran into the ground, and then he gets in the NFL, and the Titans consistently 25 to 35 carries per game. It's just the workload on his legs at this point is unreal, and he just has lost nothing. He's still the best running back in the NFL after all these years. A guy who was drafted a year after him, not to take a shot at this guy, but CMC has dealt with all his injuries, and it's like, but D-Hen's still doing it and still as durable as ever. And yeah, again, he's just, at this point, he's firmly a top 10 running back ever for me. If not closer to top 5 at this point, man. D-Hen is absolutely special.
Yeah, looking at the all-time yardage list, he will finish top 10 at minimum probably at the end of this season in yardage. And again, if he's not slowing down, he's going to be flying up that list. And the thing that shocks me, like your point, he's in year 10 now. And on that long touchdown run, it's again like people underestimate the angles are poor, and then they try to turn. You just can't catch the guy. His stride at his size is ridiculous. While he's 6'2", he's listed at 6'2", 252, which is that's like edge rusher size these days. There are edge rushers smaller than that these days. Like James Pierce Jr. is like 240.
Did you see him coming into the game, dude? Walking around normal people, he literally looked like a superhuman, an alien.
Yeah.
Literally looked like an alien coming, and he plays running back. People, that's not normal at that position.
It's not. And again, he almost looked better this year in terms of just how like slim, quick, and powerful he still looks is insane. So both of us were predicting an offensive player of the year for him. I think he's firmly leading that right now. Even with the fumble, stats wise, all people care about anyway. But
exactly. Don't forget about that fumble by week 18, dude. Come on.
Oh yeah. No one will remember it at all. Only other thing I wanted to shout out was on that Coleman touchdown. I just want to give him credit for that heads up play because I specifically made a note of that because to your point, it got tipped up and then he made a great play on the ball to make sure that touchdown happened, which again is the difference in the game because it was in an absolutely crucial moment.
That's one of those insane screenshots, just looking at the time and the down and distance. That it's a lot like the Patriots and Falcons Super Bowl. It's like they won that game.
They won.
What? Are you kidding me? So yeah,
and the Ravens have a long list of those now. To your point earlier, it's not great.
Sure. It's not. I saw the list. It wasn't good. Some of those I felt like were a little harsh, but it's like others. I'm like, dang, man.
Like a 10-point lead with. In the third quarter. It is interesting. I mean, it's a problem.
It's a problem. They have to fit and like, especially come January, dude. Like it's the best at that point, and you just can't do that. And imagine if this was a playoff game. Oh my, the heartbreak would have been absolutely awful.
The emotions
would have been awful. And yeah,
man.
It's and going back to your Keon Coleman point, it's harder to catch tipped passes, and the fact that he had the awareness that it happened. And I still don't know who Josh was trying to throw it to on that play. They were kind of all bunched up in the same area, so it's kind of tough to know who he was trying to get it to there. But either way, what a play by Keon Coleman. What a game. What a way to cap off the week 1 of NFL Sunday. And congrats to the Bills Mafia, man.
Yeah, that again, to your point, this will matter come January when it comes to playoff seeding. If these teams are to rematch in the playoffs, it'll probably be in Buffalo because of this, depending on how their seasons go. Last thing, shout out 2 guys who are probably 2 of the best. I mean, one of them is arguably the best defensive player in the NFL at this point, Kyle Hamilton, with a 93.4 grade. He did get a little dinged up in this game, which is notable. That is notable. I don't know how serious it is, but he was kind of walking off at one point. And then Ed Oliver. Was a beast in this game.
Absolutely dominant in this game.
They're the second, 4th highest graded defensive players in week 1, and they deserved it because Ed Oliver was a problem.
Yes.
He forced a fumble as well.
I'm glad we remembered to touch on Ed Oliver and Kyle Hamilton because both were phenomenal. Yeah, Ed Oliver kind of took over the game, especially late. You know, that was part of the reason the Bills were able to come back late is because Ed Oliver just started to take over. And going back to Kyle Hamilton, he's one of my favorite players in the NFL. He almost saved this game, dude. He almost blocked the game-winning field goal.
So close.
After apparently being baked up, which I honestly didn't know. I didn't realize he got banged up in the game, but he's the best safety in football, one of the best defensive players in football, and the fact that he almost blocked that kick is incredible. And you could see him after almost getting the block. He's like, "Dang!" He was like, "I was this close." He knew it, man. He was like, "I was this close to getting that one, dude." So that was unfortunate. Again, man, this is why we love this game, dude. It is a game of inches, man. It's a game of inches. And every single one of these things, the play before the half, the final field goal, the PAT, like it all matters, man. It all matters.
And again, back to referencing college football a little bit, but it's just, again, I feel like you feel this a little bit less in college football, even in the best games where it's like every tiny individual play matters almost as much as the next. And I love that. It's what makes this sport and this league so fantastic to watch. And yeah, I don't think we could have asked for a better week 1. And to wrap up the Ed Oliver thing, he had a 92.7 run defense grade, which I think was the best in football in the first week. And that was, to your point, what shut down the run game at the end of the game to help get the Bills the ball back and give them the opportunity to win it. So what a game, man. What a game to wrap up the first Sunday of football. We've got Monday Night Football on right now, which is looking like it's probably going to be a pretty good one. But I have a feeling we will see these two teams again.
Yeah.
Based on how the Chiefs looked in week 1,
Dude.
I don't think it's crazy to say these are the two teams to beat right now.
Well, that's why the number 1 seeding is like, it really is. This could be the game that decides that at the end of the year, because especially with the Chiefs injuries, dude, it feels like the tide is turning and the Chiefs might finally have maybe a little downward tick. Maybe that's final last words or whatever. But
when we get to playoffs and it happens all again. Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, man, like you said, what a crazy game. And I do think we're going to see these teams again, man. I do think we're going to see.
I hope we do. I mean, again, if we get rematch to this level, I mean, it'll be to this level just because of these football teams.
That's
and
how these games always go, man. This is how these games always go.
But if we can get this as an AFC championship, as just NFL fans, I think most would love that.
I'm so ashamed of myself that I fell asleep, man. What an absolute disaster, dude. What a disaster. I woke up at 4 a.m. and it was absolutely devastated, man. I was like, what was I thinking, not believing in the great Josh Allen?
I know, and my wife is even watching because, Josh Allen, Haley Steinfeld, she's invested at this point, watching it all play out. And last thing we have to touch on, just because it was a big part of this game, though, was the situation with the fan. After a touchdown where the fan shoves, they're now banned from everything, which they should be, because I mean, it's one thing to like tap players on the helmet when they go by, but to straight up shove a dude's head like that is wild.
And listen, I've always thought, like, this might be a bold take, but I've always been kind of the mindset that, like, if you say some stuff, unless it's like really egregious, then it's fine. It's like I think players should be, okay with just moving on from it. But when you get physical with the guy, that's totally different ball game, man. Totally different ball game. When you get physical, then that means all of a sudden you could see, DeAndre Hopkins grabbing you out of the stands and beating the hell out of you. Like, you can't get physical with the players, man. That is an absolute no.
Yeah, and I kind of want to see that. Let's get some Malice at the Palace going on some more. Yeah. Let fans that just want to think they can step in.
Especially when they get physical, man. Let the player go do his thing, man.
Literally. And Lamar let it happen. And again, people are trying to attack Lamar for that. And I think that's kind of ridiculous because why would you stand for that?
No, dude, you can't. No, you cannot do that. That is zero tolerance.
No, and if we had talked about the UFC thing, off camera about like letting UFC fighters fight random fans. Maybe we should do that with the NFL though, where fans that feel like they can. Let's let Dehan and Myles Garrett just go toe to toe with random fans in the stands that feel like they want to talk some trash and get physical with them. But yeah, no place for that in the sport, and I'm glad dude got banned for it, which is probably justifiable. So
yeah,
emotions running high, but you just like the players have to keep it in check, which is ironic because it's the type of thing you get mad at players for. Yeah,
you do as a fan as well.
Oh man, what a week 1!